Just before we get started, Ian Alexander was the actor I was complimenting, not Blue Del Toro. I got them mixed up. Hello, Steve White, Trek89 for Steve Arts 89. This is my third attempt at this video. The last two have turned into rants, and I think I've got it down to just some points. I want to keep it short. Okay, the GLAAD Awards, the 32nd annual GLAAD Awards are out, and Star Trek Discovery has been nominated for its third season. It's been nominated each year. I didn't realise this actually. It hasn't won the other 2 years, which makes sense because, I mean, the GLAAD Awards are not for quality in screenwriting or directing or acting or producing or anything. They're about representation, and Star Trek, for better or worse, has represented gay characters, trans characters in its 3 seasons. So I accept that they should be nominated. I'm kind of happy for them. But at the same time, there are other shows like Killing Eve, Supergirl, Ratched, Wyatt Earp, Umbrella Academy, The Wilds, 911 Lone Star, all nominated, I'm sure, are all better quality. Some of them are period, but that's fine because contemporary, gays and gays and period, important representations, they're all valid. Discovery, on the other hand, they've got it backwards. They're not there because they're trying to represent gays. They just want the woke points for it. They've got it backwards, and that's the problem. It's so on the nose, so in your face. You can't enjoy the characters. You can't look at them. It's so difficult because as a gay, I want to support them. I've always wanted more representation and diversity in TV. I've watched it slowly progress and get better, and it's been amazing. But then you see a show like Discovery that has it backwards. Like the first season they promoted the hell out of, we've got gay characters, and it's all about, look, we've got gay characters. Not just creating some good characters, making them be gay and having people like them and then just enjoy the fact they're gay and it not be an issue. They had to promote it and tout it and all that. And then once they got their woke points, they got their pats on the back, they're like, okay, can we kill them now so we don't have to write for them because it's just a hassle writing for them? And then they got the backlash and it's like, oh, we can't kill our gays, but that's what we normally do. Oh God, I mean, we actually have to bring them back and actually do representation all the time? So they resurrected the gays second season, but they didn't get any points for it because they killed them the first season. Third season, like, well, we need more woke points because those last 2 attempts failed. What do? Trans people, we'll get trans kids. No, not trans people, trans kids. That'll be even better. So they did that. And they did something that was just really wrong. They did a contemporary storyline in the 29th century Star Trek. Basically what they said was, in the 29th century, kids will still be in the closet about being trans. They'll have to come out, they'll have to explain people what pronouns are, and they'll be looked at with amusement and, oh, look at that brave little trans person coming out, and treated like freaks, basically, which is what we do now, which is not good, and we need to show that for what it is and show how it should be. But what we don't need is to say that's still going to be happening in the 29th century. And it's going to be laughable in 10, 20 years when people are watching Discovery and they're like, oh, they thought this was going to be an issue in the 29th century when it's not even an issue now, maybe 20 years ago. It's going to age so badly. Had they had them interact with some sort of alien race and have to explain to them what pronouns are and how this worked and how, oh, we've been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of years, it hasn't been an issue because it's all in the education, blah, blah, blah. That's how they should have handled it. But did they do that? No. They had them acting like this is a contemporary, current day issue in Star Trek in the 29th century. 31st century. Why am I saying the 29th century? Because they went 900 years into the future and it was the 23rd century. Sorry, I don't know why I was doing that, forgive me. But either way, they wouldn't be doing it in the 29th century either. Wouldn't even be doing it in the 22nd century. They're not going to be doing it in 50 years, I hope. Depending on if we de-evolve, we keep going as we're going, it's not going to be an issue. So the fact that it was an issue then drives me nuts. Now, I must confess something. I actually bought a piece of Star Trek merchandise, Discovery merchandise. I haven't admitted this publicly, but I did. I bought the Stamets comic. It was a standalone comic because I wanted to see how he was represented in the comic, and also I just wanted a Star Trek comic with a gay character. They got me. For a second there, they did get me. Now, that was the whole point. But the thing is, see, I bought one gay comic, one gay Star Trek comic. I haven't bought any of the other ones because the whole show is crap. So they got one comic out of me, one purchase, but they lost all the others because they sacrificed Star Trek for this 1 point or 2 points. They're all about, the whole agenda is race and sexuality. And it's all about pushing those issues in the face of an imaginary toxic fandom that doesn't really exist. There's a few random toxic fans here and there, but there always are, there always have been, there always will be. But the idea that all Star Trek fans are all a bunch of homophobes that need to be replaced with a gay audience, well, the gay audience isn't coming. I know a few gay people who've watched Star Trek Discovery, just like they watched any other show on Netflix, then they forgot about it, and none of them went out and bought comics. None of them went out and bought calendars or the DVDs or the Blu-rays or anything. I don't know anyone who's bought it yet. I have one friend I suspect would have bought it because he's bought like every other season, but I don't know if he actually, I don't know. I haven't asked because I don't want to know because then I have to judge him for it. But yeah, so they got one piece of merchandise out of me for gay points, and they lost all the others because they sacrificed Star Trek and everything else Star Trek stood for and undermined Star Trek, because this is not good representation. Saying in the future things are going to be as the same as they are now so we can tell a contemporary story because we want to tell a contemporary story. I mean, maybe if they went back into the past or something and a trans character had to explain to someone in the 90s how it is in the future. There are so many ways they could have done it, where they could have given the example of this is what trans is, it's not a bad or scary thing, this is, it's blah, 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 as an example, but they didn't do it. Instead, they just showed it as a contemporary issue when it wasn't. So that's why they just failed. They failed so bad. But we have to give them some credit for trying and actually having the gay actors. But let's talk about acting. I have to say, and I've said this in the other two videos, Blue Del Toro, charming actor. The other one, wearing a mask. Can't act at all. Awful. Just there because of their sexuality, not because they're actually good at acting. Sorry, it's the truth. Maybe Sarah Chalke from Roseanne, the replacement for the first Becky, she couldn't act when she first started off on that show. But by the time she got to Scrubs and has moved on to other things, she's a good actor now. Maybe she can grow. Maybe she can progress. Maybe she's just too young. But maybe they're too young. But they can't act. So okay, here we are. 7 minutes. Looking pretty good. I think I can finish the video. I'm not going to rant about all the problems with Discovery, but the representation is not great, and you can't really give them real credit for trying because they're trying for the wrong reasons. They're not trying because they love gay people and trans people and they want to support them. They're doing it because they want work points. They want the pat on the back. They want the good people to watch. They don't want the bad old people to watch who they think are all a bunch of racist, homophobic idiots who never supported any of these causes in any of the Star Treks before, which they did. So yes, it's like I can't, but I want them to deserve the award. I want them to deserve the nomination, but they don't. And I want the representation to continue, but be good, so I can actually be proud of it instead of cringing and being embarrassed by it. Now, I know Wilson Cruz, my friend Wilson Cruz, who does not want to be in a room with me, and Anthony Rapp, they're both tweeting up a storm about this, and of course they're going to because they are gay men playing gay characters, getting acknowledgement from institutions like GLAAD, but they really need to look at what their characters are and ask for better and push the writers and the producers to do a better job, because the answer is not to take away the characters and get rid of them. What they need to do is make the show better so they're actually characters people like and want to watch and want good things to happen for, not, I just want them to go away. Half the time I'm just like, oh God, you're so cringe, just go. Same with Michael Burnham. I've always loved all the, and so I have to say this because I'm white, but the black characters, I always never had an issue and always loved Uhura and Geordie, and I never really liked Ben Sisko, but I loved Jake. I mean, their race wasn't an issue, but then Discovery makes Michael Burnham's race such an issue that you can't look at her objectively as a character, as a person. She's the black female character. For that reason, it's all about their agendas, and their agendas are first. And the agendas, there's nothing wrong with having the agendas in there and the representation in there, but they shouldn't be leading every decision, and then they try and build the story and everything and piece it together behind the agenda and after the agenda comes through the room. It's just backwards. And now I'm at 10 minutes because I started talking about Discovery again. I'm stopping now. I'm not doing this again, and this is the shortest video. I'm stopping. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Please let me know what you think. I'll probably end up doing more videos about gay representation in Star Trek and problems with Discovery. Specifically, not just bitching and complaining, but actually explaining what the problems are and why they are problems. Now you can look at each season on their own. I think I'm going to do something like that, like a season by season thing or whatever. But I'm going to go. My mouth is dry. I'm tired. I'm stressed. That's what Discovery does to me. I don't want to watch original Star Trek anymore. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. I've got post-Discovery traumatic disorder where I can't watch Star Trek because it makes me think of the issues with Star Trek Discovery, and I can't enjoy it. I haven't watched it for a year or so. It's a tragedy. I got to go, and I've got to work on that. I'm going to go back and watch Smurfs because that's my happy place right now. Because Star Trek is not my happy place. The Federation, starships, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be there because what Discovery's done to Star Trek. I'm going to go watch the Smurfs because that's my happy escapism place at the moment. Thanks. Bye.